Gaffer, a little while since our last game. How's everything been preparing for Walsall now?
Very similar to the game before, really. We had a big lead into the Bradford game, obviously with the no FA Cup, and we've had a big lead into the Walsall game. So it hasn't done us any harm because we've obviously had a lot of injuries, which we keep talking about. We're nearly at full quota now. There's only a couple of players that aren't on the training ground and haven't trained this morning. They're not all completely up to speed, the ones that are training, and a few of them still need more training in their legs and to get their fitness levels higher. But I'm definitely in a stronger position now than I was probably in the previous weeks before Bradford and this Walsall game now.
And preparing for Walsall, preparing for what was MK Dons last week, two very good teams, top of the table, both in very good form. Has the last 2 weeks felt quite similar in those type of preparations?
The preparations felt the same, but the games are completely different. So MK Dons have a certain way of playing, and Walsall have a different way. So obviously we prepared really well for the MK Dons game, but then obviously then plans are thrown out the window, and will have to be revisited at a later date. But the Walsall game is completely different, a different style, and we've been working hard on how we counter that now this week.
In terms of finding the balance of probably trying to work them maybe that bit harder because they haven't had that game, but also wanting them to be fresh for Walsall. What's it like trying to find that balance for you?
I think you're always looking at the loads and obviously they're all monitored now. Players, they've got they all wear monitors every day. Goes up to a big satellite in the sky, and it's obviously reported back to our laptops. So you have to be wary of how much work the players are doing. Now, further away from a game, you can obviously work the players harder, and you can get some more fitness levels into them. You can maybe work at more of the tempo which the game's at. But once you get nearer to a game, you've got to start tapering it down. And obviously that's what we've probably done the last 3 days now. Walsall did have a game on Tuesday. I don't think they played probably all the team that will start against us tomorrow, I wouldn't imagine. But we see that as, look, we haven't had a game this week, they have. We think we've had more rest than them. So it gives us an opportunity going into this game where we've got to make sure we're nice and fresh for it.
And I suppose for the first time in a little while, it's quite a selection headache for you because you're going to have to pick a number of players not to be involved in the squad this weekend.
Yeah, it's always difficult. It's great where I've got those problems, and they're the problems I need, and they're the problems the club needs, because you need that competition for places. You need to keep players on their toes, and making sure they've got a competition for the shirt. I don't think we've probably had that enough over we had it probably in the first sort of 4 or 5 weeks of the season, but in the last sort of 7, 8 weeks, 9 weeks, whatever it is, I don't think we've had enough competition. I think players were playing probably knowing that however they played, they'd be in the team maybe the next week. So I think it's good for everybody, keeps everybody on their toes, and it's never nice having the conversations when you have to leave players out and even leave players out of the match day squad. Obviously there's some disappointed people. It's never nice disappointing people, and I want all my players to have successful careers. But I know come a Saturday or come a Tuesday night, I can only probably have 11 of them that are going to be happy. There's going to be a number of players that are disappointed, the ones that are on the bench, and then the ones that are not involved at all are normally more disappointed. So that's part of being a head coach. You've got to try and manage the squad, and that's where your man management comes into it. And obviously we try to treat everybody correctly, and obviously everybody has to remain ready because football can change very quickly. And if you're not in the squad at the moment or you're not in the team, you've got to train hard, you've got to work hard, you've got to show me in training that you're desperate to get back in that team, and that's all you can do as a football player.
And now over the next 3-4 weeks, it's such a demanding period for footballers, especially in the EFL with how many games get thrown about. So it must feel quite productive, had that, not quite rest, because obviously the lads have been training, but not had that full workload heading into this busy period. It
won't have done us any harm. I think after the game at the weekend, I think we go into something like it's 5 or 6 games in 14 days, and I haven't checked, but I know it's a number of games. Obviously over Christmas it always is, but that's a great opportunity. So it gives you a chance to put a run together quickly, and why can't we do that? We're nearly at our full strength as long as we come through this weekend. I don't think we're quite there, but we're very close to it. And if we can come through this weekend unscathed, I think over the Christmas period, I think I'll have some very good players to pick from, and I believe we can go on a run again. I've got no doubts about it. I still believe in these players in that dressing room. I know we haven't won enough lately, but I've gone into every game not hoping we can win. I believe we can win, and this is what I keep trying to express to the players, and they've got to keep belief. Look, the last 6 league games we have only lost 2 of them. Unfortunately, we drew 4, and I don't know how many in them 4, but we've let in late goals, and if we hadn't done that, the table would be looking a lot healthier. But there's a long way to go, and we've got to make sure we stay in touch over this next period. And I think by the end of January, I think you sort of know how the table's going to really start, where it starts taking shape, and that's probably where it's going to end up.
And in regards to having a lot of these lads now back training, do you feel that training's maybe taking that notch up of being a bit more competitive because you've got that competition for places again?
It definitely has, Ethan. So the lads are right at it. They know that they're going to have to train well. They know if they have the shirt tomorrow, they've got to play well to go into that Christmas period still having it on their backs. Because if anyone is underperforming or not at their best at the moment, then there's someone there to step in. So it's good for the football club.
Thank you very much.
No problem.